For the month of March, we're going to experience another eclipse. This one is a lunar eclipse in Virgo. This is a total one. As well as usual, we're going to experience astrological New Year when the Sun enters Aries later in the month. For most of March, the energy is going to be focused on Virgo with the lunar eclipse, in Pisces with the new moon, as well as in Aries. Saturn and Neptune are already in Aries, and then Sun and other planets will move to Aries. So the vast majority of the month is going to be occupied by these three energies: Virgo, Pisces, and Aries. Of course, Jupiter is going direct in Cancer. This is also important, especially for those who are Jupiterian ruled, like Pisces or Sagittarius, or Jupiter in important places or important part of their chart, such as in the angles. So Jupiter will turn direct. This is a good news. I mean, everything about Jupiter is good, but when Jupiter turns direct, finally Jupiter can give its blessings outward. So for the month of March, the focus would be on the energies of Pisces, not just the new moon, but also the retrograding Mercury in Pisces, and then Aries, Saturn, Neptune already there, and then of course in Virgo, the lunar eclipse, and as well as in Cancer when Jupiter turns direct. So these four parts of your chart is going to be highlighted in the month of March. So this is my simple general take on the effects of these movements of energies in the sky for all 12 rising signs. For the first rising sign, we will go to Aries rising, the most accurate, followed by Aries sun and Aries moon. For my dear Aries rising friends, the month of March is going to be center stage for you because the Sun is going to move into your sign, meaning astrological New Year, Sun in Aries, exalted. Not only that, several planets will also move to Aries. Not only Aries, Pisces, as well as Virgo, and of course Cancer, with Jupiter turns direct. All of these four signs that occupies four parts in your chart will be highlighted for the month of March. For Aries rising, the lunar eclipse in Virgo will highlight your 6th house. This is about your health, your daily details, work details, your pets. Remember, solar eclipse, this one is total, a total solar eclipse, so there's going to be some ending, a big one, in relative to your 6th house. And then, of course, the Sun and planets moving to your 1st house, there's going to be a big rejuvenation of energy or aura or even glow up in terms of your appearance, your energies. Yes, what people can detect from you, your energies that people can detect from you. There's a big increase because the Sun is very, very powerful in Aries. But of course, there's also going to be several planets that's still in Pisces, as well as new moon in Pisces. This is your 12th house. Remember, Mercury is going to Cazimi here, Mercury retrograde here, Mars is also here, as well as the new moon. In Pisces, it means that there's going to be also an emphasis on your mental health, because 12th house is mental health and rest. And lastly, Jupiter is going to be direct in Cancer, so any delays in terms of your family, the 4th house, is going to be resolved by this. For the next rising sign, we will go to Taurus rising, the most accurate, followed by Taurus sun and Taurus moon. For my dear Taurus rising friends, this month of March is going to be interesting because the highlight's going to be on the sign of Aries, which is your 12th house, Pisces, which is your 11th house, Virgo, which is your 5th house, and Cancer, which is your 3rd house. Because for Taurus is the first, Gemini is the second, and then Cancer is the third. So for the month of March, Sun is going to move into Aries, and several other planets will also move into Aries, starting the astrological new year. Mental health and rest and spirituality is going to be the focus, your 12th house. And then Mars, Mercury retrograde, new moon in Pisces, as well as Mercury Cazimi will happen in your 11th house. For Taurus rising, 11th house is Pisces, meaning that there's going to be some impetus in creating new friendship, social media, hopes and dreams, but there's also going to be a review in terms of your friendship, social media, hopes and dreams, your gains from your career, because this is the 11th house, a new moon plus a retrograde in the same house and the same sign. So it's like starting new, but with a review. Yeah. And then after that, we're going to experience a lunar eclipse in Virgo. For Taurus rising, this is going to be in your 5th house. Lunar eclipse, this one is going to be total, right? Lunar eclipse is a big ending, a big culmination. It's happening in the 5th house. 5th house is your children, creativity, self-expression. This is the house of joy, hobbies. So something here is going to go with a bang, so it seems, because this is the lunar eclipse. And of course, it's going to be Jupiter turns direct in Cancer. For Taurus rising, this is your 3rd house. Finally, when it comes to communications, relationship with siblings, about your vehicles, your gadgets, maybe your skills, anything involving communications, right? Interacting with each other, as well as your learning abilities is going to improve with this. For the next rising sign, we will go to Gemini rising, the most accurate, followed by Gemini sun and Gemini moon. For my dear Gemini rising friends, the month of March is going to be major for you. Why? Because your chart ruler, which is Mercury, is going to be retrograde. Yes, at this time, the time I'm making this video, as well as most of March, Mercury is going to be in its sign of its debilitation, its fall. And it's also retrograde. But thankfully, Mercury is going to be Cazimi. So for the month of March, for Gemini rising, the focus will be on your Aries house, your Pisces house, your Virgo house, as well as your Cancer house. For Gemini rising, your Aries house is your 11th house. So Sun is going to move here, the start of astrological new year, as well as some other planets. Means that the start of new friendship, new social media, new connection, new collective ideas, your community. And then of course, new moon in Pisces, Mars in Pisces, Mercury retrograde in Pisces, and Cazimi in Pisces. For Gemini, this is your 10th house, your career. So if you're a career-oriented person, pay attention. There's a lot of energies in your 10th house. And then after that, we're going to experience a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. For Gemini rising, this is your 4th house. So there's a big culmination in terms of your homes, families, properties, mother, ancestry, emotional foundation. So basically, pay attention to your emotions and your home and your family. Of course, after that, we're going to experience Jupiter turns direct in Cancer. For Gemini rising, this is your 2nd house. So everything about money, self-worth, things that you consider valuable, food also. So if you've been stuck or there's delay in terms of your finances, Jupiter turns direct could help you resolve that. For the next rising sign, we will go to Cancer rising, the most accurate, followed by Cancer sun and Cancer moon. For my dear Cancer rising friends, the month of March is going to be interesting. Why? Because there's going to be a total lunar eclipse, your ruler, in Virgo. So the month of March, the focus is going to be on Cancer, the first house, you, Virgo, and then Pisces, your 9th house, and of course Aries, your 10th house. So for the month of March, there's going to be a lot of planets in Pisces, which is your 9th house. New moon in Pisces, Mercury retrograde in Pisces, Mercury cazimi in Pisces, right? Mars in Pisces. So your 9th house is loaded with energies. 9th house is traveling, higher minds, higher learning, higher knowledge, publishing, law. This is also about foreign things, foreign lands. If you want to travel, this is the time, but you also have to remember, Mercury is retrograde. Check and recheck. There's also going to be a lot of planets, including the Sun, moving to Aries, your 10th house. So the focus is going to be on your career. Of course, there's going to be a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, your chart ruler, which is the moon, in your 3rd house. There's going to be a big culmination in terms of your there's going to be a big culmination in terms of your communications, relationship with siblings, your skills, the way you process, the way you learn things. This is also about gadgets, vehicles. This is also about your surrounding interaction, right? This is also about traveling, but short distance. 9th house is long distance. So there's going to be a big culmination on that, but pay attention to your communications. And of course, Jupiter in your 1st house finally turns direct. This is a big green light for you. Whatever you want to do, because Jupiter in the 1st house, it's you. Make sure you take advantage of this energy. Jupiter in the 1st house turns direct, meaning that Jupiter is finally going to give its blessings externally, or external circumstances will help you. So take advantage. For the next rising sign, we will go to Leo rising, the most accurate, followed by Leo sun and Leo moon. For my dear Leo rising friends, this month of March is going to be interesting because Aries, Pisces, Cancer, as well as Virgo, these 4 parts of your chart is going to be triggered, or is going to be the focus of this month. For Leo rising, Cancer, Jupiter is going direct there. For Leo, Cancer is your 12th house. Finally, there's some help, there's some blessings, or there's some breakthroughs, yes, or there's some realization in terms of your mental health, your rest, relaxation, spirituality. Jupiter is here helping you. And then after that, we're going to experience a lot of planets moving from Pisces to Aries. But before moving to Aries, there's a lot of planets that's still in Pisces. For Leo rising, Pisces is your 8th house. Mars is here. Mercury retrograde is here. Mercury will turn cazimi here, as well as a new moon here. 8th house is quite a heavy house. It's a dark house. It's about investments. Watch out for your money. It's also about transformations, intimacy, sex. This is the house of secrets, deep things you hide, the deep things hiding in your psyche, your psychology. This is here. So there's a lot of energy here, including the new moon. So something going to start in terms of your maybe investments, or maybe there's something going to start in regards to your journey to transforming your psychology. Maybe that's the way. But you also have to remember, because Pisces, the traditional ruler, is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the 12th house, mental health. 8th house is psychology and secrets. So these two are supporting each other, talking to each other. So the focus is really on your psychology and your mental health. Of course, Sun is going to be in Aries, start of the new year, astrological new year. For Leo rising, this will be on your 9th house. So because the Sun is you, The sun is your ruler, exalted in Aries, in your 9th house. A good day. This is a good time for traveling. But of course, because Mercury is still retrograde, pay attention to the details. And of course, there's going to be a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. For Leo rising, the eclipse is going to happen in your 2nd house. If you want to travel, 9th house, pay attention to the details. Mercury retrograde in the 8th house, but also pay attention to your financial condition, because there's going to be eclipse, a total lunar eclipse in sign of Virgo. For Leo rising, this is the 2nd house. Watch out for your money, because your money axis 8 and 2nd house is activated. So watch out for your money. Make detailed plans about your money. Do not recklessly spend your money. Especially when it comes to this lunar eclipse, this is an ending, a big ending. So just pay attention. For the next rising sign, we will go to Virgo rising, the most accurate, followed by Virgo sun and Virgo moon. For my dear Virgo rising friends, this month of March is going to be major for you. Why? First, there's going to be a total lunar eclipse in your sign. And second, your chart ruler, which is Mercury, is going retrograde. I'm sorry, not going retrograde, it's going to be retrograde and at the end part of February, and for most of March it's going to still be retrograde, but you don't have to worry, because there's some help from the universe. Mercury is going to be conjunct the sun, or cazimi. So for the month of March, we will start with a lot of energies in the sign of Pisces, your 7th house. Mars is there, Mercury retrograde is there, Mercury cazimi is going to happen there, as well as new moon. So the impetus or the nudge from the universe, well, not a nudge because there's a lot of energy there. The universe is asking you to look, for Virgo rising, to look at your 7th house, your relationship, your marriage, your partnership. And then we're going to experience Jupiter turns direct in the sign of Cancer. For Virgo rising, this is your 11th house. Finally, some improvement or some breakthroughs or some movement in terms of your friendship, social media, hopes and dreams, gains from your career. Of course, we're going to experience a lot of energies flowing into Aries, especially the sun, the start of astrological new year. For Virgo, Aries is your 8th house. Your energy, your additional energy, the sun, right? The soul. The sun is what the purpose you reincarnate into this lifetime. That's the sun, right? The sun is your purpose. Of course, the North Node is also your purpose, but the sun is your solar energy. The sun is the center of our solar system. So for this month of March, the focus is going to be on your 8th house. 8th house is investments, transformations, intimacy, secrets, the occults. This is a dark house. This is not a typically easy house, but this is a necessary house for you to transform yourself. The sun is going to be here, helping you. After Cancer, in your 11th house, the sun in your 8th house, new moon, and retrogrades Mercury and cazimi Mercury in your 7th house, we're going to experience, of course, a total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your sign, in your 1st house. This is the ultimate ending with a big bang in terms of your 1st house, your personality, your appearance. This is about the way you interact with each other, the way you interact with other people, because this is your 1st house. The 1st house is the energy that people pick up from you. Your aura is here. An eclipse happening here is major. Pay attention also to your health. For the next rising sign, we will go to Libra rising, the most accurate, followed by Libra sun and Libra moon. For my dear Libra rising friends, the month of March is going to be interesting for you. First, your chart ruler, which is Venus, is exalted at this moment. Not throughout most of March, but on the earlier part of March. It's going to be exalted in the sign of Pisces. As well as there's going to be a lot of energies collecting in Pisces. New moon in Pisces, Venus in Pisces, Mercury retrograde in Pisces, Mercury cazimi in Pisces, Mars in Pisces. This is your 6th house for Libra rising. Of course, Jupiter is going to go direct in your 10th house of Cancer. And then after that, there's going to be Sun moving into Aries, the start of astrological new year, as well as several other planets moving towards Aries. And Saturn and Neptune is already in Aries, which is your 7th house. And of course, we're going to experience a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. So for Libra rising, the focus for the month of March is going to be Virgo, your 12th house, Cancer, your 10th house, Aries, your 7th house, and Pisces, your 6th house. A lot of energies in Pisces, including new moon and retrogrades, Mercury and Mercury cazimi, meaning that a lot of energies in terms of your health, your work, your daily details, your daily chores, meaning the way you manage your life, the way you improve your life. This is it, 6th house. There's going to be maybe a new regimen in your approach to health, new moon, but there's also going to be a review regarding your health, your career, your work, because Mercury is going to retrograde in this house. The Sun is going to move to its exaltation sign of Aries in your 7th house. This is a focus on partnership. Jupiter is going to be direct in Cancer in your 10th house. This is going to be an improvement, a manifestation in terms of your career, public image, your status, the way people see you. And then after that, of course, we're going to experience a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, your 12th house. Your mental health is going to be impacted by this. Total lunar eclipse is ending, fated ending with a big bang. It's like ending with a big bang. It's in your 12th house, the house of the subconscious, mental health, rest, sleep, spirituality. Pay attention to your dreams. So for Libra rising, the focus is going to be on the 12th house, the 10th house, the 7th house, and also the 6th house. For the next rising sign, we will go to Scorpio rising, the most accurate, followed by Scorpio sun and Scorpio moon. For my dear Scorpio rising friends, the month of March is going to be interesting because we're going to experience a lot of energies in Pisces, Aries, Cancer, and Virgo. As a Scorpio rising, you're a water sign. Two other water signs, which is Cancer, where Jupiter is going to be direct, and Pisces, where there's a lot of planet, which is Venus, Mercury retrograde, Mercury cazimi, new moon, and Mars, and Pisces. These two signs are trining your sign. So we're going to experience a grand water trine between Jupiter and planets in Pisces. This is good. For Scorpio rising, Pisces is your 5th house, house of enjoyment, creativity. This is a good luck house, house of children, house of entrepreneurship. This is the house where you find your joy. As well as Jupiter going direct in Cancer, which is for you the 9th house, traveling, finally, improvement or breakthroughs, or going somewhere, finally. Cancer, Jupiter turns direct. There's going to be a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. For Scorpio rising, Virgo is your 11th house. So there's going to be an ending of some sort with a big bang in terms of your friendship, networking and social media, hopes and dreams, and gains. So watch your interaction with your friends. And of course, the Sun is going to move into Aries. For Scorpio rising, Aries is your 6th house. Pay attention to your health, the details of your work, basically your work, your pets, and the way you improve and manage your daily life. For the next rising sign, we will go to Sagittarius rising, the most accurate, followed by Sagittarius sun and Sagittarius moon. For my dear Sagittarius rising friends, the month of March is going to be very important to you because your chart ruler, which is Jupiter, is going direct in your 8th house of Cancer. Not only that, we're going to experience new moon and lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse on your angles, on the angles of your 4th house and your 10th house. The total lunar eclipse in Virgo will highlight the transformation and the big endings in your 10th house, your house of careers, public image, status, the way people see you, your legacies. So there could be some final, conclusive endings, or severing of ties, or just basically a grand change in terms of your career. Maybe you literally change a job, ending a job, or maybe moving to a different part of your company. Because it's in the sign of Virgo, you're also letting go the tendency towards self-criticism or criticizing others, or toxic perfectionism in terms of your career. Of course, we're also going to experience Mercury retrograde in Pisces, Mercury Cazimi in Pisces, new moon in Pisces, as well as Mars and Venus in Pisces, all in your 4th house for Sagittarius rising, meaning that there's a lot of energies involving your home, your properties, your family, your mother. Review, Mercury retrograde. Revisit regarding things involving your family. The most important thing is that this is a time for you to start something, but also review something in your home sphere. The 4th house is also Pisces house for Sagittarius rising. Your 4th house is also your emotional foundation. Something regarding the deepest part of you. So you need to just be intuitive, because Pisces is a very intuitive sign. Take a look at your emotion. Open it up. What needs to be reviewed or revisited, and what can you start in the realm of your 4th house to start something, because new moon is starting something. You also have to remember a lot of planets is moving to Aries, including the Sun, exalted in Aries. For Sagittarius rising, Aries is your 5th house. So a boost of energy, a boost of vitality in your house of joy, in your house of happiness, romance, 5th house, as well as children. Maybe some of you could conceive children at this time. Especially not only the Sun for Sagittarius rising will transit into your 5th house, Aries, Jupiter will turn direct in your 8th house, also the house that involved with intimacy, conception. So just be mindful of that, Sagittarius rising. For the next rising sign, we will go to Capricorn rising, the most accurate, followed by Capricorn sun and Capricorn moon. For my dear Capricorn rising friends, the month of March is going to be interesting for you because there's going to be a lot of energies in Pisces, in Aries, in Cancer, and also in Virgo. Cancer and Aries are cardinal signs. Capricorn is also a cardinal sign, so the angles of your chart is going to be activated. The Sun will move into Aries, your 4th house, family. So there's more energy, more vitality, more focus in the realm of your properties, your home, your family, your mother, for Capricorn rising. And then, of course, Jupiter will turn direct in Cancer, opposing you from your 7th house. Maybe there's some delays in terms of your business partnership or your general partnership, even in your serious personal relationship, including marriage. Maybe there's some delays there. But with Jupiter turns direct, the delays is no more, or minimize, or finally a realization or an epiphany or a breakthrough in terms of your relationship, 7th house. Of course, we're going to experience a new moon in Pisces and total lunar eclipse in Virgo. For Capricorn rising, Pisces is your 3rd house of communication. Mercury going retrograde here in the house of communication, original house of Mercury. Focus on your communication. Recheck, right? If you want to send an email, make sure you read it first and then recheck again. Make sure if you want to sign a contract, if you can delay. If you cannot, read the fine prints. A lot of energies, including retrograding Mercury energies in Pisces, your 3rd house. And then there's going to be a total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your 9th house. So there's going to be a big ending in terms of your traveling plans. Virgo is the details. Virgo is details. 9th house is traveling. Maybe the details of your travel. There's going to be some culmination in that part of your chart. Maybe you've been stuck in a foreign land, right? And you've been wanting to get out, or you've been wanting to end your foreign adventures. This lunar eclipse will highlight that desire. The 9th house is not just traveling, foreign lands, foreign things. The 9th house is also about higher minds, higher learning, universities, the law, publishing. Maybe there's going to be a big ending in terms of your publishing, meaning that I'm not saying that your publishing career is ending. No, it's just that you're closing a chapter on that part of your journey. Maybe you want to publish a book, you're closing a chapter on that part. Maybe you're starting a new project. The one thing is for certain, this total lunar eclipse in Virgo is trining you from a lucky house, 9th house, with Capricorn rising. So the ending is actually good for you in the long run. So just pay attention and open your minds and open your hearts towards it. For the next rising sign, we will go to Aquarius rising, the most accurate, followed by Aquarius sun and Aquarius moon. For my dear Aquarius rising friends, this month of March is going to be quite important for you because your Pisces 2nd house, your Virgo 8th house, as well as your Aries 3rd house and your Cancer 6th house is going to be activated. There's going to be a movement in terms of your 6th house because Jupiter in Cancer is moving direct. Your health, your work, your pets. There's going to be a lot of energy with Sun and other planets moving into Aries. Aquarius, this is your 3rd house, so the focus is going to be skills, knowledge, communications, siblings, immediate environments, your vehicles, and then your gadgets. Basically, it's communication. And then there's also going to be a lot of energies, including new moon and retrogrades in Pisces. For Aquarius rising, this is your 2nd house. This is about money. Pay attention to your money because this is a retrograding energy with Mercury retrograde. Do not recklessly spend your money because sometimes Pisces energy in the 2nd house, everything can be very porous. You don't even remember what you're buying. So just make sure you know how to spend and you track down your spendings if you can. And of course, there's going to be a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. For Aquarius rising, Virgo is your 8th house. So there's going to be an ending, a big one, in terms of your shared resources, investments, transformation. This is also about intimacy, sex, joint resources. Those things could end in a good way, because the 8th house is also the house of psychology, secrets, the occult. Maybe you're ending that chapter of your life. The most important thing is that this is the house of psychology, a dark house, your psyche. Almost similar to the 12th house. But the 12th house is just, you just cannot grasp the 12th house because it's just beyond your reach. But the 8th house, you can reach it. Your psychology, you can change it. You can transform it. If you want to transform it, use this total lunar eclipse energy. So it's the 8th house, the 2nd house, the 3rd house, and of course the 6th house, Jupiter, in Cancer. Your health. Pay attention to it. For the last rising sign, we will go to Pisces rising, the most accurate, followed by Pisces sun and Pisces moon. For my dear Pisces rising friends, the month of March is important because your chart ruler, you have 2 chart rulers. The modern one, which is Neptune, it's already moving into Aries, conjunct Saturn, earlier in February. And then your second ruler, your ancient ruler, which is Jupiter, is finally in March turning direct in Cancer. For Pisces, Cancer is your, for Pisces rising, Cancer is your 5th house. So this is a time for you to enjoy life, finally. Children, hobbies, joy, romance, expression, self-expression. You also have to remember there's going to be a lot of energies in your 1st house and then your 7th house, because new moon is happening in Pisces, as well as Mercury retrograde, Mercury cazimi, Mars and Venus in Pisces, your 1st house. Loaded energy, very strong emphasis on you. The North Node is still there. And then of course there's going to be a total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your 7th house. This is a South Node eclipse, meaning that you're letting go. There's endings regarding relationship, business partnership that is no longer serving you. I'm not saying that if you're married your relationship will be in turmoil, even though it can happen. For some of you, divorce. But in the end of the day, this total lunar eclipse with the South Node in Virgo for Pisces rising is asking you to look at your relationship and just let go that part of relationship or that relationship that doesn't serve you. And instead focus on yourself first. And of course, we're going to have the Sun moving into Aries, as well as a lot of energies moving into Aries, astrological New Year. For Pisces, this is your 2nd house, meaning that your impetus, your vitality, your energy will be spent later in the part of March when Sun moves into Aries. It will be spent, or your focus will be on your money. This is a good time for making money or creating or finding new ventures regarding money. Increase your income. Of course, it will also depend on your natal chart, but in general, this is a good time for you to just be bold and also pioneering in terms of money. 2nd house. So Pisces, 1st house, for Pisces rising, houses that will be deeply activated in the month of March will be your 1st house, your 2nd house, and then your 5th house, and of course your 7th house.